Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're going to tackle one of the most complex ethical questions of our time human cloning. But we're going to look at it through the lens of a really ancient and powerful legend the Golem. Okay, let's just dive right in with a quote that really sets the stage. See, the Golem isn't just some monster from folklore. As Moment magazine puts it, it's this powerful, constantly shifting symbol for our deepest hopes and, yeah, our deepest fears about the things we create. So, to really get the golem, you've got to go way back to its origins in Jewish texts. And as you'll see, this whole idea of an unformed being is much older and way more fundamental than you might think. The word itself, golem, it actually pops up first in the Bible, in Psalm 139, and it's used to describe the psalmist's own body before it's fully formed, what he calls a substance yet being unperfect. It's basically the raw material of humanity. Okay, but this idea, it gets even more profound when you look at how the Talmud describes the creation of Adam, the very first human. In the second hour of creation, before his limbs were shaped or a soul was put inside him, Adam himself was considered a golem, just a shapeless husk, waiting for that spark of life. All right, so from this ancient concept, we get the story everyone knows. It comes out of 16th century Prague, and it's this incredibly powerful cautionary tale about creation, power, and all those unintended consequences. So the story goes like this. Rabbi Lowe, this brilliant scholar, forms a giant figure from the clay of a river. And using these mystical rituals and Hebrew incantations, he brings it to life. Its whole purpose? To be a protector for a community that was facing terrible persecution. And this is where the real lesson is, right? The theme of hubris. The golem was brought to life with the word emet, or truth, written on its forehead. But it grew too powerful, and the only way to stop it was for the rabbi to erase the first letter, changing the word to mit, or dead. Think about that. The creator's power over life and death is contained in a single letter, almost like flipping a bit in a single line of code. So that ancient warning about a creation getting out of our control, it leads us directly into a very, very modern dilemma. The tools have changed, for sure, from clay and mysticism to genetics and biotech, but the core question, it's exactly the same. Okay, let's jump into the science of human cloning, because you're going to see how it echoes the same exact ancient creative urges and fears that have been with us for centuries. Now, here's something you might not know. A clone isn't a perfect carbon copy. It gets its nucleic DNA, that's the code that determines most of its traits, from a single gene donor. But, and this is key, its mitochondrial DNA, which basically powers its cells, comes from the egg donor. So right from the start, a clone is this combination of two sources, creating a totally new kind of human origin story. So no surprise here, right? This new technology has kicked off this huge, profound debate within Jewish law and ethics, which is always trying to balance these deeply held and sometimes competing moral duties. And it all boils down to this central conflict, this tug of war. On one side, you have the religious duty to reproduce, which kind of leans toward allowing new technologies that help people create families. But on the other side, there's this deep moral conservatism, this real caution about playing God and heading down these slippery slopes with consequences we just can't predict. We are not talking about a simple yes or no here. Oh no, it just explodes into these incredibly complex, mind-bending questions. Who are the clone's parents? What's its legal status? Its religious status? What rights does it even have? I mean, all of a sudden, our most basic definitions of family and identity are completely up for grabs. All right, now for the really cool part. Let's put these two stories, the ancient and the modern, right next to each other. You'll see just how closely these modern ethical questions mirror the ones people were asking about the golems centuries ago. Wow, I mean, the parallel is it's incredible, right? The questions are practically identical. Is it right to create this way? What's the status of the being we create? Is it truly one of us? And what happens if we lose control? The very same anxieties about our power and our responsibility have stuck with us for centuries. So you see, the golem story is so much more than just some old monster myth. It's an ancient ethical toolkit. It's a language that gives us the words to talk about our role as creators in an age of biotech, AI, and genetic engineering. And that leaves us with this one final, really provocative thought. The golem legend was about scratching a word onto a clay forehead. Today, we write code into the very DNA of life. The power is greater than ever before, and so is the responsibility. The ancient questions, they aren't theoretical anymore. They're sitting in laboratories right now waiting for us to find an answer.